trial balance is a nightmare to many students because you struggle a lot to balance it in your exam. So today I'll show you here how to balance a trial balance. So here you see a question taken from 2023 IGCSE O-level accounting past paper. So this trial balance is not balanced. It contains a lot of mistakes. So here on the right side, I will show you how to prepare a corrected trial balance. We will figure out the mistakes and we will rectify here. So on the question, Amadi prepares the following trial balance which is not a total and contains errors. So you see the trial balance but it is not total and balanced. So here our requirement is prepare a corrected trial balance at 31st March 2023. Show the remaining difference between the debit and credit totals as a suspense. So here we will figure out the suspense account, okay? So what is the difference between debit column and credit column? We will find out and we will write it here as a suspense account, okay? So let us see here, first of all, fittings and equipment. This amount is written on the credit side. You tell me it is correct or wrong? Well, it is wrong. Why? Because fixture and fittings, it is an asset. It is a non-current asset. Assets of all types will be debited, whether it is a current asset or non-current asset. If you see on the question, it is an asset, you will write on the debit side, okay? So this is a mistake. We will write here on the debit side, yeah, $30,000. So let us write here $30,000 on the debit side. So we are preparing corrected trial balance. Okay, great. Then number 2 here we see on the question, provision for depreciation of fittings and equipment. It is $7,500 on the debit side. Now, is this correct? No, not at all. So this will be credited. So what is a provision for depreciation? It is a provision created to record the value of depreciation of non-current asset separately. So this is a credit account, okay? So we will write this amount on the credit side. So provision of all types will be credited, okay? So first note was asset of all types will be debited, okay? And then second one, provision of all types will be credited. Provision for depreciation, provision for doubtful debts will be credited, okay? So let us write here $7,500 on the credit side, okay? This was also a mistake. Okay, then number 3 here we see trade receivables $6,100. So trade receivables are current asset, yeah? I told you assets of all type will be debited. So here it is written correctly, yeah? So we will write here on the debit side. Great. Next one is here, bank overdraft $3,106. What is bank overdraft? It is an asset or liability. Bank overdraft is a current liability, okay? It is a bank loan, types of loan, okay? So loans of all types, liabilities of all type will be credited, okay? So it is not correct here. We will write this amount on the credit side, $3,106, okay? Great. Then we have next one, trade payables $3,485. It is on the credit column. So trade payables, it is a liability, yeah, current liability. So you know already liabilities of all types will be credited, okay? point to be noted. Don't forget. So we will write here on the credit side 3,485. Okay. So this item was correct. Then we have here capital $20,000 on the credit side. So you know capital is credit, yeah, it is a credit item. So here we will write on the credit side $20,000. So this was also correct. Okay. Then we have here number 7, sales $73,250. So what are sales? These are revenue, right? So we know revenue of all types will be credited. Okay. So this amount is also correct. $73,250 on the credit column. Okay, then we have here next one. Number 8, purchases $41,785 on the credit column. So purchase is an expense. So expense of all types will be debited. But here it is written as credit. So it is not correct here. We will correct it here on the corrected trial balance. So we will write here $41,785. Okay. So we corrected another mistake. Then we have here next one. Number 9, discount receipt $1,990. Is this correct? No, not at all. Discount receipt, it is an income, nominal account. Incomes of all types will be credited. Note down. So what types of income are there in the business? Discount receipt, rent receipt, commission receipt, interest receipt. If you see these items, you will not think. You will write directly on the credit column. Okay, so this is not correct. $1,990. Okay. Trade. Then number 10 here, returns inwards. It is $3,390. What are return inwards? So it is a sale returns. Okay. So sales return will be debited. Okay. So here also it is also written on the debit column. So this amount is correct. But if you see on the question returns outwards, you have to credit this item. Once again, returns inwards will be debited and returns outwards will be credited. Okay. So let us write here returns inwards. It is $3,390. Okay. Then we have here carriage inwards. So this is an expense. Okay. So carriage inwards. So here it is $1,223. Okay. So carriage inwards is an expense. You already know expense of all types will be debited. Okay. That means this item was correct. So here we will follow this 1,223 and will be debited. Okay, great. Then here general expenses $6,430. General expenses, it is here already mentioned expenses. So expenses of all types will be debited. So here it is $6,430. We will write on the debit side $6,430. Okay, we just copy it. Okay, then next one we have here terrain, rent and rates. It is $7,380. So what are rent and rates? These are expenses. Okay, so you know expenses will be debited. So here it is also written on the debit side. So we will just copy to the debit side here on the corrected trial balance. $7,380. Okay, finished. Then we have here drawings. It is $9,500 on the debit side. So what are drawings? Drawings means when owner takes some goods or cash from the business. This is owner's personal account. Okay, so drawings will be debited. Okay, so here it is written correctly. We will write on the same side $9,500. Okay. Then we have here number 15, inventory at 1st April 2022. It is on the credit side, $3,752. Okay, so here we are doing this account, this trial balance for 31st March 2023. So here we see one more inventory. It is 31st March 2023. It is $3,965. So we found here two inventories. Okay, one is at 1st April. That means first one is opening inventory and second one is closing inventory. Okay, when you see two inventories at a time in the question, you get so confused. Now note down, closing inventory does not include the trial balance. Okay, only opening inventory does. So we will take opening inventory, we will not take the closing inventory. So here closing inventory is taken, that means it was a mistake. We will not write this closing inventory, just we will take the opening inventory. Okay, and another problem, it is written on the credit side. So opening inventory, it will be added to the debit side. Okay, not credit side, as opening inventory is a part of purchase, so we will write on the debit side. It is $3,752. Okay, so now we will delete this one, inventory at 31st March 2023. This is a closing balance, so closing inventory we will not take it here. Okay, now what to do? Now we will check the totals. So these two columns must be agreed. Okay, must be balanced. If we see that it is not balancing, then on the question it is mentioned clearly. Then if it is not balanced, we need to write the difference between debit and credit column as suspense. Okay, so let us sum up the credit column first. So if we sum up the credit column, we get here 9331. Okay, so this is the addition of credit column. Okay, now if we sum up the debit column, we find here 109560. Okay, so here debit and credit columns are not same, so we get here difference, it is $229. Okay, so this is the difference between debit and credit column. Okay, so this amount we will write on the lower column. Okay, so this column is lower, the credit column, so this money will be written on the credit side. Okay, so let us write here 229. We will write this amount as suspense, so we will write here suspense account. Okay, good. Now we will sum up. So here on the debit side we get $109,560, and on the credit side we get $109,560, the same amount. Okay, so this is how you need to balance, you need to prepare a trial balance. I believe if you understand to this lesson, you will never make mistake in your exam.